Hi there. It's February 13th and time for Proverbs 13. Now, the title contrasts the upright and the wicked, but if you look at the New American Standard, it has this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for 9 chapters. It calls it contrast the upright and the wicked. And we'll count the righteous in here like we do. All the attributes of righteousness. Okay. Some of these are highlighted from last time. I'll just leave them highlighted. Okay. As he usually starts a chapter, a wise son accepts his father's discipline, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. Right? From the fruit of a man's mouth he enjoys good, but the desire of the treacherous is violence. That's true, huh? They just want to break things. They just want to break things. And he says this a lot. What you say. Okay. Enjoys good from what you say. Eats good. Say only kind things, right? I say that all the time. This was highlighted from last year. The one who guards his mouth preserves his life. The one who opens wide his lips comes to ruin, right? Up there, from the fruit of a man's mouth he enjoys good. The one who guards his mouth preserves his life, right? Know when to keep your mouth shut, which is 99% of the time. Mm-hmm. Those who talk come to ruin. Somebody's going to beat you up. For the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is made fat, right? You work, you eat, right? 5, a righteous man hates falsehood. That's your righteous right there. But a wicked man acts disgustingly and shamefully. You can see that all over the internet, huh? They like to put themselves on there, too. Righteousness guards the love whose way is blameless. Righteousness. But wickedness subverts the sinner. Overthroweth, it says over here. Now this version over here on the right is the 1599 Geneva Bible. Okay, and that's the one our forefathers brought with them when they founded the country. 7. There is one who pretends to be rich but has nothing. Another pretends to be poor but has great wealth. They mentioned this yesterday too, right? And it's pretty easy, okay? There are people who pretend to be rich. They drive big cars and have fancy hairdos and giant phones and jewelry and clothes and hairdos, but they're really broke. Right? Some of them are even on welfare. They just want people to think they have something when they have nothing. There are other people, okay, and I have known both types of people. They pretend to be poor, but they're actually very rich, but they are very stingy and they don't want to share with anybody. And when they die, their relatives will get it and blow through it in about 6 months and it'll be gone. Right? They drive old cars, they wear old clothes, right? Dirty. Sometimes they're even dirty, okay? Because they don't want anybody to know that they have money. They're both bad, okay? 8, the ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but the poor hears no rebuke, right? One of the reasons these people pretend to be poor when they're rich is because the ransom of a man's life is his wealth. If people know you're rich, they're going to come after you because they want your money, okay? They will find a way to get to you, right? And usually the ways are crooked and devious. Yeah? Poor people don't have that problem. You don't bother them. They got nothing I want, so they leave you alone. 9, the light of the righteous rejoices. The lamp of the wicked goes out. I have a note here. Shines brightly. The light of the righteous shines brightly. Or rejoices. Rejoiceth. The lamp of the wicked goes out. And through insolence comes nothing but strife. Insolence. Pride. That's pride. Comes nothing but strife, nothing but trouble. Your pride will get you into trouble every time. God wants humble. But wisdom with those is with those who receive counsel, right? Good advice. Good people, like presidents and stuff, will surround themselves with advisors, a whole team of advisors, right? Because the more heads you put together on something, the more ideas you come up with. Yeah? Always look for good advice. 11, wealth obtained by fraud dwindles, but one who gathers by labor increases it, or little by little, it says here, gradually. Wealth obtained by fraud dwindles. Let's highlight that. It usually does. People that steal stuff, it never lasts, right? It never lasts. Right? 12, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Right? But desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Like hope put off, right? Someday, we're going to take care of you someday. Wait until we're done. It does make your heart sick. But desire, when it's fulfilled, is a tree of life. 13, the one who despises the world will be in debt to it. But the one who fears the commandment will be rewarded. Word, I said world, despises the word will be in debt to it. Over here it says, the one who despiseth the word, he shall be destroyed. But he that feareth the commandment, he shall be rewarded. Right. Good one. I clicked the right mouse button by mistake, and it messes things up because arthritis, you know. Okay, that's a good one. The one who despises the word will be in debt to it or will be pledged or destroyed, it says over there. This is the word. There are people that despise the Bible. They call it, oh, that's just a stupid thing, right? They will be destroyed or in debt to it. The one who fears the commandment, right? You are in awe of God's word. This is God speaking to us, okay? You should be in awe of the Bible, and you should want to read it and study it and know it, right? And hear God speaking to you, right? And you will be rewarded. It's important. 14. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn aside from the snares of death. The instruction of a wise man is as the wellspring of life, to turn away from the snares of death. You know, wise people, hang around wise people, learn from them. Okay? 15, good understanding produces favor, but the way of the treacherous is hard. Good understanding maketh acceptable. Good understanding, right? Now it says all over Proverbs, you must knowledge and understanding, right? It says that. You have to know what you're reading. You have to know why these things say what they do. and get into the deeper meanings. That's why we're tearing Proverbs apart 24 times, right? For 2 solid years, right? So we want good understanding. We want it to produce a favor, okay? And it says, in the hands of wisdom are riches, honor, and long life, right? Everything you want out of life. Seeking wisdom and fearing the Lord first. 16, every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool displays folly or foolishness. Right? Spreads it out. You're prudent, can you act with knowledge? If you don't know something, keep your mouth shut. Sometimes if you do, it's still keep your mouth shut. Right? What's that say? This will work by knowledge. 17, a wicked messenger falls into adversity, but a faithful envoy brings healing. Right? Now, they used to use messengers back then. Okay? They didn't have mail. They didn't have computers. They didn't have telephones. They would send runners and people, go tell this person this. And sometimes a wicked messenger would lie. He says you're ugly. Right? Faithful envoy doesn't do that. Like all these scammers. Fake news, right? Fake news falls into adversity. 18, poverty and shame will come to him who neglects discipline. But he who regards reproof will be honored. Somebody's trying to correct you. Do you neglect it or instruction? Right? I don't need those instructions. I know what I'm doing. Right? Poverty and shame. He who regards reproof will be honored. Follow the instructions. 19, desire realized is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to turn away from evil. Right? Fools, evil people, they like evil. Turning away from evil, they are sold to Satan, and they will, some come out of that, but some don't. Desire realized is sweet to the soul. It says that up top too. Talk about desire fulfilled is a tree of life. 20, he who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. All right, that's a good one. You want to be wise? Hang around wise people. And a truly wise person will always let you hang around them, okay? Because wisdom likes to teach wisdom. 21, adversity pursues sinners, but the righteous will be rewarded with prosperity. Okay? Is that right? Is that word righteous again? Be rewarded with prosperity. Adversity pursues sinners. Affliction followeth sinners, but unto the righteous God will recompense good. Got that? Righteous will be rewarded. Think about that. Righteousness is always doing the right thing, knowing when to keep your mouth shut, remaining humble and not prideful, following the Lord in everything you do. Right? 22, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. That's a famous verse. Okay. And people take this out of context. I think, now we know in all the Proverbs, from our study in Proverbs, he never talks about leaving money. Okay. He talks about riches and honor being the reward for wisdom. Okay. For following wisdom and fearing the Lord. Right. And following the path of righteousness. Okay? And a lot of people think, well, if you don't leave money to your grandchildren, you are not a good man. Okay? And we know this is in Proverbs, and all of Proverbs talks about wisdom, okay, and fearing the Lord. An inheritance you would leave to your grandchildren, right, would be wisdom, fear of the Lord, telling them about Jesus, right, and preparing them, right? That's the inheritance you leave your grandchildren, okay? It's not money, okay? The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. If you teach your grandchildren, right, righteousness, fear of the Lord, wisdom, humbleness, not being prideful, all that stuff, the rest will come, okay? It guarantees that in Proverbs, and God said it, right? The rest will come. That's important. That's what you leave your grandchildren. If you leave them money, it'll be gone in 6 months or less sometimes, right? Okay, 23. Abundant food is in the fallow ground of the poor, but it is swept away by injustice, right? Fallow ground of the poor. Field, right? People who have everything they need to survive, and it's taken through, taxes and injustice. They can't. 24. He who withholds his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him diligently. One of the problems of today, and I believe it was designed on purpose, right? People got away from spanking their children and disciplining them. Now, this was done by powers slowly eroding away the discipline of children. Don't hurt their feelings, don't touch them, don't spank them. And they turn out to be these kids that are marching in the streets and gluing their hands to the sidewalks and the pavement and destroying priceless artwork, looting, beating up, killing, burning down things. Kids that don't get discipline. It was by design, okay? By somebody who wants to destroy the world, right? God's creation, right? And we all know that leads back to Satan and all his demons. If you don't spank your kid, you hate your kid. In other parts of Proverbs, it will say you are killing your children if you don't discipline them while they are young. And usually by the time they are 8 years old, they should know everything they need to know. Their heart should be set and their rules should be ingrained in them, right? And they should be respectful. And you don't have to beat them all their lives, my kids got the occasional swat and then always a hug afterwards. And my kids turned out great because I disciplined them while they were young. Okay? You cannot, this is important. You can't take away from the importance of disciplining your kids while they are young. Because if you don't, when they turn into teenagers, they will be somebody you cannot handle. All right? Then they'll get into drugs and alcohol and partying and always looking to fill that hole that God is supposed to be in that you didn't fill when they were younger. Right? Talking up on that, right? Okay, 25. The righteous has enough to satisfy his appetite, but the stomach of the wicked is in need. Okay, there's righteous again. About being righteous. One day for fun, we might spend a couple of hours on video and go through every one of the books and read all the righteous highlights in the 31 chapters. That'll be cool. Okay, so there you go. That's Proverbs 13. Let's go over the righteous ones first. A righteous man hates falsehood. You hate falsehood? Righteousness guards the one whose way is blameless. Right? If you didn't do anything, you always tell the truth. Right? Righteousness will guard you. The footnote. And the light of the righteous rejoices. But the lamp of the wicked goes out, shines brightly. He's happy. The righteous will be rewarded with prosperity. That we're talking about. Not giving people money. Righteousness will be rewarded with prosperity. All right? You can read these in opposite order. A good man leaves an inheritance to his grandchildren. The righteous will be rewarded with prosperity. Okay? Now, do you rather leave your grandchildren with the knowledge of righteousness, right? Or a few dollars that will only last? And their whole life they will have nothing because the money will be gone. If you leave them with righteousness, fear of the Lord, love of Jesus, right? Humbleness and pride, that will stay with them forever and get passed on to their grandchildren. How important that is. Right? And the righteous has enough to satisfy his appetite, but the stomach of the wicked is in need. Eats to the satisfaction of his soul, the footnote says. Oh, here it says, the righteous eateth to the contentation of his mind. Contentment, they say now. Right, so there's all the attributes of righteousness in chapter 13. Good stuff. What else do we highlight in here? It says this a lot. From the fruit of a man's mouth, he enjoys good. Right? Eats. What you say will always come back to you. Always. So only say kind things. Right? Only say kind things. We highlighted 3. The one who guards his mouth preserves his life. The one who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Right? Why? Why? From the fruit of a man's mouth, he enjoys good. Okay? And you can read those in reverse order too. Shut your mouth. Most of the time, don't say anything. Right? And if somebody asks you directly, be humble. Right? Be humble. Well, I have read this in the Bible, or I feel this way. Being always kind. Okay? 7, we highlighted. There is one who pretends to be rich but has nothing. Another pretends to be poor but has great wealth. And that's just a true statement. We talked about that at length, so we won't beat that up anymore. 11 is highlighted. Wealth obtained by fraud dwindles, but the one who gathers by labor increases it. Right? Earn an honest living. Okay? You don't need to be rich to be happy. Okay? If you learn to be happy, then you are rich. Okay? Wealth obtained by fraud dwindles. Always. 13 is highlighted. The one who despises the word will be in debt to it, but the one who fears the commandment will be rewarded. That's the word. This is the word we are studying now. Okay, I have done thousands of videos on the word, and I love to study the word. Right? And you never get tired of studying the word, okay? This is the 18th time through Proverbs, and I never get tired of it. Okay? There are so many life lessons in here. People who despise that will be in debt to it, will come to ruin. It says over here, it shall be destroyed. Right? But the one who fears the commandment, right? Fear means to respect, okay, will be rewarded. Okay? That's important. It's very important to read your Bible and study the word. Okay? And we highlight at 20, he who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will get hurt, suffer harm. Right? Think about that. He who walks with wise men will be wise. If you want to be wise, hang around wise people. Right? Humble people, kind people. Okay, not know-it-alls. Those guys are no fun to hang around. That's prideful. Right? God doesn't like prideful, arrogant, conceited. He hates those attributes. And it says it in here. He hates them, finds them abominable. Right? We talked about this at length. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. The righteous will be rewarded with prosperity. Teach your grandchildren righteousness. Don't give them money will do them no good. Right? 24, we talked about this too at length. He who withholds discipline or rod hates his son. You hate your kids if you don't discipline them. You know that? He who loves his kids disciplines them diligently. Right? You keep them in line all the time. Right? And more righteousness. So there you go. That is Proverbs 13. Okay. I think we are still on chapter 26. It covered 3 days in our through the New Testament. Yeah, the rest of Matthew today. We are in the very sad part of Matthew where Jesus has been arrested and he's about to get beat up and worse. Right. So, but he did it for us. So there you go. Give us a like if you think about it. But later on, tomorrow we'll keep going with Proverbs, and later on today we'll do our Through the New Testament in the Year. We're on day 44, I think. So, but until then, see ya.